Finally, baseball is back in Washington, D.C. Opening day is here, and we have got a Nationals game to discuss right here on Locked On Nationals. I'm here to tell you the Nationals, we got a big 2025 season right ahead for you.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I'm your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals for all your latest Nationals news and notes. Make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And of course, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcast, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, and of course, the video version on YouTube. You can look up Locked On Nationals and hit that subscriber button. And also, while you're at it, I got a new haircut, and I will say it's a quick little story. It was by a drunk barber. And if you can't tell, my hair's not too great right now. So we'll just go right through it. But all I want you to know is my barber was drunk while cutting my hair, and never go to the barbershop that I went to just yesterday morning. So we're done with that now. It's baseball time. The Nationals, they play the Philadelphia Phillies today. Later on in the show of today, we have got some bold takes for the Nationals today. I think the Nats offense could explode. I'll tell you about who in particular, because Zach Wheeler has not done too well against your Washington Nationals. We'll have that discussion for you in the third segment. And in the second segment, we will preview today's game. But I want to start off, before we jump into any action, let's talk about the 2025 Washington Nationals. The time is now. The time is now for the Washington Nationals to finally get back into their winning ways. 10 years ago today, the Washington Nationals were in the thick of it. You have Bryce Harper. You have Anthony Rendon coming up into the big leagues. You've got Trey Turner down in the minors, supposedly going to be your franchise shortstop. You had a ton of different pieces sitting here today, 10 years ago, that you were ready to win. I think the Nationals are in that position right here and right now, here on March 27th, 2025. If you look around this ball club, the lack of talent is not there. Like, they have it. They have James Wood. You've got Dylan Cruz. You've got C.J. Abrams. You have Keibert Ruiz, who looked really good this spring training. And then let's get to the pitching. You've got MacKenzie Gore starting today's game on opening day, making his very first opening day appearance, and in my opinion, first of many to come. You've got Jake Irvin starting on Saturday against those pesky Philadelphia Phillies teams. And right now, I feel optimistic. I feel good about where the Nationals are headed. Under the leadership of Mike Rizzo, I do think that this Nats team in 2025 will be the best one that you will see since 2019. Now, what does that really say? Is that really all that good? Because once you really kind of look at it, the Nationals, they're good, but they're also very young. There is going to be points of this season where you out there will want to rip your hair out. That the Nationals will be kicking the ball around the yard. You'll see C.J. Abrams make some poor errors. You'll see MacKenzie Gore get blown up for 5 runs in the second inning. You'll see Jake Irvin, Mr. Consistent, as our guy Krabs called him, not be very consistent. You'll see Orlando Ribalta and Jose Ferrer, your young bullpen pieces, come in and maybe blow a game or two in situations where you're like, how the heck did this happen? But then on the other side of that coin, you're going to have Dylan Cruz going 3 for 4 with a couple doubles and a home run. You're going to have James Wood have multi-home run games and hopefully getting around 30 home runs for this season. You're going to have C.J. Abrams potentially go for a second All-Star game. bring himself as the shortstop of the Nationals for the next decade. Maybe get an extension. You'll see MacKenzie Gore strike out 12, 13 batters over 7 innings pitched and sniff with no hitters. You'll see Jake Irvin be really good for this Nationals team, and you'll see Nathaniel Lowe, the big trade acquisition from this offseason, hit some home runs and be a leader and be stout defensively over at first base. For all the bad out there that you could think of, that I could think of, there's also a lot of good that will be happening this season. And the beauty of baseball is that when you get 162 opportunities to do this thing every single day, play a game, 9 innings, guaranteed no matter what, the Nationals will be contenders at some point this year. And it is going to be because of where we are with this youth. The Nationals have a young, promising team. You have got the core, the foundation for what is to come in 2026. And we get to see it right here and right now. The guys that we were mentioning, CJ Abrams, James Wood, Dylan Cruz, Luis Garcia Jr., Nathaniel Lowe, Jake Irvin, MacKenzie Gore, Jose Ferrer, Keibert Ruiz. These are all guys that you will see make an impact in 2025. And it's exciting because today, as we are here for opening day, you are allowed to be optimistic. You are allowed to, wherever you are listening to this pod, whether you're in bed, whether you're on the way to work, or whether you're on your way down to the Navy Yard in DC, you can be optimistic. Think to yourself for this real quick. How good can the Nationals team be this year? Davey Martinez and Mike Rizzo, they have made it very clear all spring long that the rebuild is over. They now expect to win. And they have not taken that back whatsoever. Now, maybe in a few months from now, we'll be talking about how silly that is. But if you look around this team and see where they are talent-wise, you understand the vision. You see where Mike Rizzo is coming from. You see where Davey Martinez thinks that this team could be a good, solid baseball team. And the players, they think it as well. Dylan Cruz has talked about how, you know what, like individual success is great, but he wants to see wins, and he wants to win and play in October baseball. They got a little sniff at that this past offseason. Now, really not this past offseason, this past season in 2024, because they played the Yankees. They played some really good baseball teams out there like the Phillies and the Mets, who all did pretty damn well in October. And now the Nationals, they want to put themselves in a position to where they are going to be playing for October baseball. And that starts today with opening day for the Washington Nationals. I should say day more. But aren't you excited? This is the time, guys. This is now the time where you can sit back and say, what if we're good? What if Dylan Cruz is a beast? What if he puts up LSU kind of numbers? What if James Wood can hit 30 to 40 home runs this season? What if CJ Abrams steals 50 plus bases and has a 780 OPS and also has a little bit of power? What if Keibert Ruiz turns it back around and is a good hitter and solid defensively yet again? What if Luis Garcia Jr. builds off a breakout 2024 season and becomes an all-star in 2025? What if MacKenzie Gore is the ace of this team? These are thoughts that can cross your brain today, and you are allowed to have that thought. You are allowed to be excited for this Nationals team because today is the start of a new journey, and the Washington Nationals, your 2025 Washington Nationals, play baseball today at Nationals Park against Bryce Harper and Trey Turner and Zach Wheeler and those Philadelphia Phillies that have taken so much joy from us. But once it comes October, that red October the Phillies talk about, down. Not good. So rile me up. It is a game day So let's talk about game one, opening day, Zach Wheeler against MacKenzie Gore, 4:05 first pitch over at Nationals Park. If you're there, tweet at me at RyanClary11. And also, leave a comment in the YouTube section. We'll see if we can meet up eventually at some point today. But let's talk about this game. Zach Wheeler, MacKenzie Gore. Before we jump into that, though, let me tell you guys about some of our friends over at PrizePicks. And of course, I have told you guys plenty of times that baseball season is now in full swing, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with PrizePicks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With PrizePicks, you pick more or less on at least 2-player projections, and if you're right, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs. PrizePicks keeps every game exciting, and this week I'm going to pick Juan Soto for more than 1 home run. And yeah, I know that sucks to say, but I'm sorry. That's on my PrizePicks lineup. But also with that in mind, I've also got more than 1 home run for Paul DeJong. And it's just that easy. You can also do less than or more, whatever you want to do. PrizePicks has got it. And I always take advantage of a Taco Tuesday where PrizePicks offers discounts on select player projections for even more value. So download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Now, let me tell you guys about our friends over at Supply House and get the supplies that you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with their order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. So join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. The Nationals play baseball today, so let's preview this game because, again, opening day is right now. Let's discuss this game. The Nationals taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. You have got a tremendous pitching matchup with Zach Wheeler, a Cy Young winner for the Philadelphia Phillies, going up against MacKenzie Gore. And this is one of those things where baseball is a weird sport. Zach Wheeler has been one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball over the last few seasons here. But the one team in baseball that he struggles against are the Washington Nationals. He has lost 3 straight starts against the Nationals. And this dates back all the way to 2021. In his career, in 35 starts against the Nationals, dating back way back to like 2011 with the New York Mets, in 35 starts, he has a 4.45 ERA against them. Compared to the rest of the NL East and compared to the rest of the National League and anyone else in baseball, we have his number. And if you look at the last 3 or so starts for MacKenzie Gore going up against this Phillies team, Gore in 3 of his last 4 starts, he's gone 5+ innings pitched and has allowed 2 runs or less in 3 or 4 of those starts. One of those starts was not very good. He kind of blew up there. But still, I like this matchup on paper for the Nationals. And if we talk about just getting a win on opening day, like, it is a good thing. You want the Nationals to win, especially going up against those Phillies teams, because here's the thing. Let's face the facts. The Phillies are going to have fans travel. Philadelphia will have a strong presence made at Nationals Park. It'll probably make you feel uncomfortable. That's just what it is. We know that with Philly. DC and Philly, they're in every single division, in every single major sport. You know how it goes at this point. If the Phillies are good, their fans are going to travel to DC. And if the Nats are good, our fans will travel up to Philly. So this is going to be one of those things where a lot of people will be frustrated in the stands. And it might feel as if it could be an away game, even though it's at Nationals Park. But the Nationals, they have got their eyes set on a good pitching matchup for them. And it sounds insane to say that, but that's what it is. Looking at the numbers of some of the guys in this lineup, and I do kind of want to get into how I think Davey Martinez should construct this lineup today. But Josh Bell, he has been a Zach Wheeler killer in his career. He's got 4 home runs in his 38 at-bats against Zach Wheeler and a 1024 OPS. Let's also move over to CJ Abrams, who has had some success against Zach Wheeler, a plus line against him, has hit for a little bit of power, and has gotten on base against the Cy Young winner. And then you move over to new third baseman Paul DeJong. He's got 2 home runs and 12 at-bats against Zach Wheeler. This Nationals team today, they are going to have some opportunities, and especially some good ones against him. Now, also with this, one thing that I want to watch for outside of the Nats offense is how MacKenzie Gore handles this pressure. I have always thought to myself that Gore is going to be the big game pitcher for this team. I have always thought that MacKenzie Gore, and the goal for the Nationals is to have him open up on opening day. Is to have him be your guy of game 1 of the World Series or in the wild card round. He's going to be your guy. How does he handle the pressure, though? How does MacKenzie Gore handle the pressure of going up against a very loaded lineup, the Phillies, a tough environment to be in with the Phillies and the Nats going head-to-head, and going up against a Cy Young kind of pitcher with Zach Wheeler? How will he be able to handle this? Because one thing that Gore has struggled with throughout his career is kind of balancing that highs and the lows. We never really know where we're going to get the best version of MacKenzie Gore. Like, we don't know that Gore over the years has kind of had this weird back and forth where it's like he gets up for the big games, and at times he gets up a little bit too much, gets way too amped up, and gives up 5 runs in the second inning. Can he find that balance today, though? Because I think he can. And I think that this is finally the Nationals saying and acknowledging, like, MacKenzie, you're going to be the guy. If this rotation is going to be good, it's going to be behind your back. And so Gore, I think, is going to take that personally and hopefully puts out a good performance for this team and goes 6 strong innings. And we could be looking at a great situation where you have Jose Ferrer going up against Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and the rest of the Phillies lineup. Then you also have Kyle Finnegan, your all-star closer, who, by the way, in the opening series has never really been that good. So let's hopefully he kind of keeps that door shut. But right now, with where the Nats are, I feel really good about today's game. Really good going up against Zach Wheeler. He, for whatever reason, cannot pitch well against this Nationals team under Davey Martinez. Again, a 4.45 ERA. He has lost 3 straight starts against the Washington Nationals. The stats are the stats, people. Will it happen a 4th time? I think so. The lineup that I think Davey Martinez is going to construct today, it may be a little, this is more so what I want, not more so what I think, but it's a little different. I want to see CJ Abrams in the leadoff spot, out of the way, done. Number 2 hole, I'd like to see Dylan Cruz. Number 3 hole, I'd like to see James Wood. At 4, I'd like to see Nathaniel Lowe. And then after that, I think you got to go with Luis Garcia Jr. At 6, you go Keibert Ruiz. 7, you go Paul DeJong. 8, you've got, I've had Jacob Young there in the past, but I don't really think that's where he's going to fit best at this point. But I think that kind of top 7 right then and there, that's what you want to see from this Nationals team. And that's how I would like to see Davey Martinez construct this lineup today. And I think you'll be able to get the most out of this team with that in mind. So maybe the Nationals get it done. Maybe they don't. But still, you've got Nationals baseball today. And let's talk about it because, again, the Nationals, they get going right here and right now. So let's talk about more of this Nationals Phillies matchup. But before we jump into that, I got to tell you about our friends over at Wonderful Pistachios. Are you looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. And personally, I love the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab and go snack for busy days, whether I'm stacking at my desk on a road trip or just need a quick protein boost. They're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite. And the fact that Wonderful Pistachios is a complete protein, I always try to track my protein, and Wonderful Pistachios always gets me to my protein goal and more after I work out, or if I'm snacking at the office, whatever it is, or even if I'm on the go. You can get snacking and get cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Just visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And of course, you guys can check us out over on YouTube. Again, look up Locked On Nationals and find us right then and there. But of course, as we get into it, I want to tell you guys this. This episode releases to midnight on opening day. It's my annual tradition. But tomorrow morning, turn on WUSA 9. That is CBS, the local news channel, and I will be on with Annie Yu and as well as Wisdom Martin live from Nationals Park from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. as we get you ready for Nationals opening day. I can't wait for it. I will be there at 4 a.m. for Nationals Park, and we'll be live there on the field. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be really cool. We'll talk about the Nationals. We'll talk about plenty of things over at WUSA 9. So make sure to tune in to WUSA from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. And that is where you'll find your Nationals coverage bright and early as you get ready for work. It is Get Up DC with Annie Yu and Wisdom Martin. So you will want to make sure to tune into that. Again, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. on WUSA 9, our partners over at Tegna. You will not want to miss it because that is where you'll have your opening day coverage. And I'll be live with them again from Nationals Park. So before we jump back into the Nationals, though, that's why I wanted to get off my chest. And as we were mentioning, my fresh haircut, who my barber was quite literally drunk, and I smelled the alcohol on his breath as he gave me that haircut. So it's always fun to get a nice bad haircut before you jump on TV in front of the DMV area on opening day with all the eyeballs on you. You got to love it, right? A bad haircut, it'll make for a good story that I'll have for the rest of my life. So there's that. But let's get back into the Nationals baseball here, because we kind of got into what I wanted to see from the Nationals lineup, and it's going to be interesting nonetheless, because the way that the Nationals kind of have this lineup situated at this point, you never really know how they're going to construct it. And in one of those things, you may have noticed that you're like, well, where the hell is Josh Bell in this fold here? I missed a line there. So let's get back into that lineup and how I would like to see it constructed. Batting in that leadoff role, I would like to see, again, CJ Abrams. That is the way that I think gets this offense ignited. I think he has a possibility to be a really good offensive piece on day one for you. Then in the number 2 hole, Dylan Cruz. Some people would put James Wood in there, but I think having that separation of a lefty, righty, lefty scenario, having Cruz at number 2 and James Wood in that 3 hole, I think it benefits everyone at that point. But there could be some situations where you want James Wood getting more at bats, and I could definitely see him even being a leadoff hitter for this team if they go that analytic route eventually this season, just to get James Wood as many at bats as possible. So, but at this time, I've got Abrams, Cruz, and then Wood. In that 4 hole, got Nathaniel Lowe for now. I could see him getting booted up into like the 5 hole or even the 6 hole if he struggles like he did this spring training. But for now, he's that prototypical first baseman, lefty who's going to hit bombs. That's what you want. In the 5 hole, I've got Luis Garcia Jr. At this point, I think Luis Garcia Jr. probably should be up further in the order at that 2 spot or even 3 spot, because he has been one of the best Nationals pieces offensively the last 2 seasons here. So you're going to want to see him get at bats similar to James Wood. So I've got him in my 5 hole. My 6 hole, I've got Josh Bell at this point in time. I think Josh Bell is going to have a solid season. As we mentioned, he's had really good success against Zach Wheeler. So watch out for a Josh Bell home run today and some fireworks offensively over from the DH. In that 7 hole, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I would go with Paul DeJong personally at the 7 hole, but you'd probably go with Keibert Ruiz. And then whichever one doesn't fill that 7 hole between Ruiz and DeJong, you've got in the 8 hole. At this point, I'll go on the record and say DeJong should be the 7 hitter, and then you have Ruiz the 8, and then the second leadoff in that 9 spot, you've got Jacob Young, which I think makes perfect sense for everybody. He's going to be the 9-hole hitter. That's what we expect of him. He's probably the most limited hitter the Nationals have on this roster today. But baseball is back in D.C., and we have a damn baseball game to watch today. Let's go. Fire me up. We'll discuss many more of these Nationals games as we get started with this season. Again, if you haven't watched us before, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts. And again, that is where you'll find the daily coverage of the Washington Nationals. Enjoy today's game. And while you're at it, baseball is back in the nation's capital. I'll catch you over at a Nats game. Have a good one. Go Nats.